Hey guys, this is Daniel.
And Matthew, and you're listening or tuned in to the That Damn Brand podcast, episode 40, I believe.
Whatever number it is, we got a good podcast today. We got a decent amount of topics.
Yep.
So our first topic is the Xbox game streaming has now come to PC and to iOS. Why it wasn't on PC to begin with, that's fucking shocking to me, honestly, considering it's their OS. But anywho, that's a different story. Their software kind of sucks. Um, so I
Talk
saw
shit about the Microsoft Store all day.
dude, that Microsoft Store fucking blows, and I actually probably next podcast we'll talk more about that. But anywho, I actually did. I saw you fiddle around with it playing that Alien game, Destroy All
For all
Humans,
humans.
the
Yeah.
remake. So I don't have any products because I fucking hate Apple. So you can go on that.
I played around with the Xcloud update to I guess is it beta or is it out of beta? Like I don't
No, it's like straight up
like it's
out.
a legitimate thing now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So like I was already a Games Pass Ultimate member to begin with, which as we hinted at a few minutes ago about Microsoft Store sucking ass, I've actually been debating about getting rid of it, but there's still some stuff we want to play on there, like Gears 5 has new content that we're gonna planning on getting to down the road, and then get some perks for having PSO2 and PSO2 New Genesis for having it, etc., etc. So when this was announced as like, hey, you can do this if you have this, and you also have an iPhone, which I do. I've got an iPhone 10R. I was like, yeah, I'll give this a shot. And honestly, I actually posted about it on Twitter originally. I recorded like a 20, no, it's not 20, like a 2.5 minute video because I think the limit on Twitter is like 30 minutes or something. So I recorded like a 2.5 minute video of me playing Wreckfest, which is like that car destruction derby game where you drive around and just try to destroy other cars. I'd never played it before. It was actually on my wish list on Steam because I do kind of just like to mess around sometimes and destroy. It just seems like it'd be fun, just not like to play it religiously, but just to check it out. So I was like, yeah, let's give Wreckfest a shot, and because it was one of the games that you could play using the on-screen controls. So the xCloud gives you the option to use on-screen controls, or you can kind of connect a Bluetooth controller, which it's Xbox controller. I'll get to that in a minute, but so I was like, yeah, let's get Wreckfest a shot using the on-screen controls, and like, God, it was fucking awful, dude. It was like hella laggy. Like I would try and make a turn, and the next thing you know, the car that I was gonna like try and ram and crash into was like fucking gone. Like it had vanished completely because it was lagged so far behind, and like it was really bad experience originally. And so I was wondering like what could I do to improve that, because I was sitting at my desk just playing it on my phone, and the wireless router is not too far. I mean, you've been to the apartment. It's probably like 5 feet, maybe, like just kind of right outside the door, right by
Okay.
the living room. And so I'm like, all right, maybe if I move closer, the wireless, will help or whatever. So I actually moved into the living room where I would perceivably be closer to it. And I actually connected my girlfriend's Xbox controller via Bluetooth. And that experience was almost flawless. Like, legitimately, I don't know if it was connecting the Bluetooth controller or if it was moving closer to the router itself, but it was both of those combination of those two things made it damn near flawless. Like, it only lagged one time. There was like a little lag spike, but the rest of the time I actually ended up getting first place. I was just doing the little test mode or whatever, but I actually got first place as opposed to getting like somewhere near the bottom during the on-screen controls thing. So it was interesting. And then I decided to switch over to Destroy All Humans because I actually had played a little bit of that on like I think the 360 or original Xbox. I don't
Yeah,
even
I think
remember.
it was a 360.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
played a
yeah.
little of it back in the day, and I was like, all right, well, this time I'm gonna record like a legitimate ass video. Like I screen recorded the entire thing, and then that's up in the little thing right now, popping up, being suggested for you to go watch. And so I recorded that gameplay entirely on my phone, and that one was pretty smooth as well with the controller. I think again there was like one lag spike, but um, it wasn't that bad. I think
Mhm.
if you're playing games that demand uh damn near flawless internet, like say a battle royale or a first person shooter in general, like Destiny or something, then it might be a bit of a problem if your internet's not perfect.
Yeah.
But when you're playing single player games or games that input lag and latency aren't as important, then it's actually really pretty good experience. I mean, at least on my end, and you can't comment per se because you don't have the iDevices like you said.
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't checked to see what other people are thinking. Have you heard anything about like on Twitter or anything?
No, I haven't really paid attention, to be honest, to the outside. So I actually did mess around with this, except I messed around with the PC part of it. I booted up Halo 5, and this is a funny story because so I normally use Edge, because when you search in it, it gives you the Microsoft points, and then you can redeem them for shit. And like, I'll normally search in Microsoft before, and then like when it sucks, I'll switch over to Google because Google actually searches correctly.
Right.
So I booted up the Microsoft website, like to go to, I think it's like /play, xbox.com/play. And I tried playing Halo 5 on it, and I clicked on it, it booted up. It would read my controller when it was in like the website where you just pick the games, and I actually picked Halo 5 with my controller. But once it went into Halo 5, it didn't read my controller anymore. And I exited out, booted up like maybe 2-3 times, same problem every time. I remember in the email saying that Edge or Chrome works with it. So I tried doing Chrome, worked flawlessly in Chrome. I don't know why the fuck Microsoft software is just so fucking bad. I don't get it. Like, I don't get like how their shit fucks up all the time. Anywho, besides the point. So I messed around in Halo 5, mainly just doing Forge, just shooting random things by myself, just playing, just testing it. And I did notice some latency. Granted, I'm in a wired connection over like 100 megs a second, so that's kind of what I'm testing on. I'm not testing wirelessly like you. But it actually, like, I agree with you where I would not use this to play multiplayer at all. But a single player game, but how you said FPS, I would be comfortable playing a campaign single player.
Well, yeah, okay, that's
FPS.
Right, I can see that. I probably should have mentioned more so like FPS, like multiplayer, like Apex Legends or Fortnite or whatever.
Yeah.
These, competitive games, you're going to be at a disadvantage when these latency spikes randomly occur and input lag and that sort of thing. So
I was actually very impressed by it. I didn't expect to be. So I'm really like, I borrowed my cousin's Xbox to play Halo 5. I may end up just playing it through the cloud.
Nice. I mean, that's how I'll be playing it.
Because it's just easier,
Yeah.
Just click it and no updates, no downloading. That's gonna be cool. And if Infinite comes on the cloud and we forget to download or something, granted, we'll probably be playing it through our single play or story campaign before we play multiplayer. So we could have like the game downloading in the background while we play on the cloud.
Not a bad idea, actually.
But anyway.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna chime in real quick and say that what was I gonna say? It's cool to see how far like the technology has come, at least in that instance. Never would I think like, yeah, I'm gonna be able to just play an Xbox game on my phone. Like, obviously you have to have the internet too, but if I wanted to like, boot up a game right now on my phone, I could probably start talking. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You have the app already? I deleted the app a while ago.
I just need to sign in, but yeah, it's already.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and like, it's cool because if you get Ultimate or if you have the Ultimate Game Pass, it comes with it. So it kind of just adds the value to that, especially if you are like us, where we used to play on Xbox. And we are only PC now, roughly. There's a lot of games that are console only that we can't play on PC, but we can play on the cloud. Like Halo 5. Not that that's going to be one of the main games. I heard it's awful, but I just want to play through the story once.
Right.
But, there's other games out there that just on the cloud, it would be nice. And Psychonauts, maybe I want to play Psychonauts when I'm away, traveling or something. I'm actually I want to stream Psychonauts before Psychonauts 2 comes out. Psychonauts is one of the greatest games I've ever played.
I'm actually booting up a game that I think you'll like once it does this little loading thing. But
I have it on Steam though, so I'm not going to be playing it through cloud. You're playing it locally, but
did you hear that?
I did. Oh shit, was that Fusion Frenzy?
No. But yeah, so certain games when it boots up, it plays that noise, and so it's kind of cool. Yeah, but it's getting my Xbox 360 info, if that's a hint.
I actually booted up Perfect Dark as well, and it did that stuff.
But it's not Perfect Dark.
I know. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
Like I did, and it did the old school 360 look, and it said Sharp D logged in at the bottom, and it had the 360 icon. Like, wow, blast to the past.
Yeah, definitely a nostalgia factor. It's kind of cool. But I mean, this is taking a little bit longer than it did before. But again, I'm further away, and
I have this 360 login.
Yeah, I'm further away, and I felt the door closed basically. So,
did you see Xbox Gold just gave away Conker's Bad Fur Day? Holy shit, Viva Pinata! I fucking love that game.
Yes, this is Viva Pinata running on my iPhone. And it's set up to use touch controls. It's got the buttons and stuff. It's hard to tell with my ring light. Let me see if I can turn it off.
I've heard, and correct us if I'm wrong in the comments.
See, it's got the little D-pad and then the buttons over there. It's still hard to tell because of my cam, but go ahead.
That that's the first Viva Pinata.
Yeah. I just moved up because I know you like it, so I was like, I'm gonna try it.
That actually only certain games have the touch controls, because Microsoft goes in there and programs them in them. So while the list is growing, not all games have them.
That is absolutely correct. So if you're not able to connect a controller, you can scroll through the app and see this middle row right here. It says play with touch, and so you can go through. It's got Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo 2D, Bridge, Constructor Portal, Beholder, Call of the Sea, Celeste, Dead Cells, which actually, I will say I tried a little bit of Dead Cells. It's actually really fun.
That sounds cool. I'm on PC.
I've been meaning to pick that up. It's on my Steam wish list. I was like, okay, yeah, I might actually have to get this but I mean, now I don't have to because I can play it with an Xbox controller sitting in my living room. But yeah, it's kind of cool. And so I mean, there's a decent amount of games on here. Hell, Gears 5 is on here, bro, listed as fucking touch controller. That's what that gold one is. It says Gears 5.
I would never play that touch controller.
How would you play it with a touch controller? You will get absolutely.
Can you imagine wall bouncing with that shit?
Oh my god! Hey, I'm a god with my fucking iPhone, bro.
Gears 5 is actually one of the games that I played during the beta when we were invited to the beta, and that's one of the things that turned me off because how delayed it was. But my recent experience is, really changed my mind around it. The bad thing about that is, though, not all 360 controllers, or the white one disappeared, actually have Bluetooth.
Correct.
So this is an older model. This is a 1697. This black one.
Probably the same one I have. Mine did not connect. Mine couldn't connect.
Yeah, because the last generation one, only the newer ones had Bluetooth, and you can tell by taking off the battery cover, and it says the model in there. So this is a 1697. It does not have Bluetooth, while this white one right here, which I actually bought because my black one's bumper broke, is a 1708, and it does have Bluetooth. So anything higher than 1708 should have it.
Oh, this one is a 1708. I wonder why the fuck it didn't work.
Yeah, that's weird then.
Huh.
It should have worked.
I'll have to keep fucking with it. Maybe I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's funny too is the whole controller thing. Whenever I mean, obviously I tried the touch controls just so I could test it and stuff, but I'm like, this is actually begging for a controller. And so the first thing I did, which I probably wasn't the smartest idea, I actually tried searching for Bluetooth controllers online, and hell, there's some $15 ones you can probably get from Walmart, but they look cheap.
Well, why would you get one?
Well, so hold on. I know, hold on. So I was like, yeah, I'm just kind of looking, and I was like, all right. And then next thing you know, it was recommending the $100 Razer controllers, and the things that go attached, you put your phone like this, and then they go on the side of it, kind of like the Switch Pro thing. Yeah, pretty much. And so I was like, no, I'm not gonna pay that. What the fuck? And so then I'm like, yeah, wait, I got Xbox controllers, and I also thought about the Joy Cons because the Joy Cons on the Switch are Bluetooth. So I was like,
Oh, I didn't know
can
that.
you can you connect the Joy Cons to your iPhone? So I googled that, and there were videos that came up, and they were like, yeah, look, it works. And then, but like all the comments were disabled on the video, so I'm like, yeah, that's not a good sign. And sure enough, the Joy Cons can actually be detected by the phone, but you can't actually connect it. Like it'll say, "Hey, this is Joy-Con right or Joy-Con left or whatever,"
Yeah.
but it won't actually make a connection. So I was like, "Fuck, man!" And then I tried my Animal Crossing Bluetooth controller or whatever
Hmm.
for Switch. Same thing. It sees it, it just won't connect. And then with the Xbox, once I got my girlfriend's controller that I knew would work, she's like, "Yeah, this one has Bluetooth." I fucking turned it on. It saw it. It connected like immediately, and I'm like, "All right, yeah, now we're in business." So I mean, it's cool that you can connect real controllers, but also I just remembered another thing. They said when this thing launched that your iOS version, basically like the operating system on your phone,
Yeah.
had to be like 14 2 and higher, and I was on 14.4 and it didn't fucking work. And people on Twitter were trying to help me. They're like, "Oh, have you tried this? Have you tried that?" And like, I did all the things that they tried. I'm like, "Well, I'll just try updating my fucking iOS." I updated to like 14.6 or something, and it fucking works. Like, it worked flawless. I was like, "Well, they should probably change that from being 14 whatever to at least 14.6, or maybe it was just maybe I was the only person having issues." But anyway,
Yeah.
if you're having issues with it, if you're watching this video trying to figure out why the hell your shit doesn't work, update your iOS, make sure everything's, have all the drivers and updated, and it should work. That's the only suggestion I can give for that. But yeah, it's fucking cool, man. It's crazy that how far technology's come.
Yeah, it's gonna give Stadia a run for its money, definitely.
I think it already does, man. It's
I
crazy.
think
But
it,
I mean,
yeah, no, definitely.
I've not played Stadia. I'm only going off of, videos that I've seen in people's secondhand accounts or whatever. But yeah,
I
it
think
feels
that's
like they're
enough. I think that's enough because no one has one. So, like if it already has bad press, why would you? You could go buy a Stadia and hope it works, or you can just get Xcloud and not invest any hardware. Like because you have to buy a Stadia. So
I'd kind of want one just to have one, I guess. Like, because eventually it's going to end up being obsolete. So you're just be like, hey, look, check out this old obsolete hardware that I have.
yeah, but it's not gonna have any value. So if you like wanted to collect it, I can understand. But
Yeah, that's what I'm
like,
saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be like an NES that's gonna eventually have value.
Well, I mean, or like my Dreamcast and stuff that I got back there, like it has value to me, even if, I mean, people will probably still pay money for it, but I'm never going to sell it. That has fucking sentimental value to me.
No,
I
I,
love
I
that
get what you're
shit.
saying,
So,
but I think you can get
yeah,
some decent money for a Dreamcast. Like it's holding some value. I
right.
really don't think a Stadia is going to hold any value.
And then watch it has some kind of like hidden feature that they don't find about out for like years, and somewhere down the line they're gonna be like, "Dude, I want a Stadia. It's got this. Did you know?" And then, yeah. Anyway,
So, since we mixed up those topics, I'm just going to bring up the other. I'm just going to jump to the other one. So Microsoft showed up Windows 11. So apparently, I learned some new things since the last time I talked to you. You're going to be able to buy a Windows 11 device in October this year. Well, everyone's thinking October. They said the end of the year, but all the hints like the date and the clock was October. Some vendors are saying October. Everything points to October. Microsoft just hasn't come out and said it. So it looks like October you're gonna be able to get a device. If you're upgrading, you won't be able to upgrade till 2022. And there's a lot of stipulations to upgrading. Like their CPU stipulations actually pretty high. You have to right now it's a Ryzen 2000 or higher, which that's kind of recent, honestly. And then like I think it's the 800s or 8000s on the Intel side. So that's going to actually get rid of a lot of people.
I was gonna say that seems like kind of a high barrier of entry. I mean, I know that hell was it like within the past couple of years they just stopped supporting like Windows XP. Like
Yeah.
shit, if they're gonna do this shit with Windows 11, they're gonna have to support Windows 10 until like fuck. Who
Well, I
knows?
think Windows 10 gets support till 2025.
I mean, at least it has to.
Like
That's
but the thing is, like, there's some security stuff inside the new CPUs, and that's why they wanted. Well, so that's not really the point of our topic. It's more that the Xbox app and the game streaming, which we just actually talked about, is going to be built into Windows 11 from the ground up. If you've used the Xbox app, it fucking blows. The Windows Store fucking blows. I don't understand how they're so bad at making software for their own fucking OS. I've been locked out of fucking Halo. I've been locked out of Phantasy Star because the way the thing installs and you can't access the files because you can't fucking delete them. So if you delete the game, it still has files left on your hard drive. So when you reinstall it, those fucking corrupt files are still there. It's so stupid. I'm hoping with it being built into the OS, I'm not really too... I don't think it's going to happen because they haven't proven to me otherwise that it's going to be good. But I'm hoping it's going to be good because how the fuck do you fuck up your own fucking software? How can I not play fucking streaming on your own fucking browser, not to use someone else's browser? Like, it's just so fucking stupid. But anywho,
I agree. That's really dumb. Like how they can fuck up their, Edge and fucking their own OS. Like, god damn it, and their store.
So I'm just hoping that because it's built in together from the ground up and not some bullshit like half-ass thing, that maybe it will be better. I don't know. Maybe with it being built into it, because the Xbox actually uses Windows. So maybe they're going to actually upgrade the Xbox to a version of Windows where, like they're kind of just streamlining it together. So maybe we'll get that. Like maybe that will happen and it'll actually be something good for the PC. But only time to tell. I think it's worth talking about, like just at least bringing it up that this is a possibility. We won't know for another 6 months. Or, well, that's not true because the pre-built will let us get insight into that. The ones that come with Windows 11 pre-installed. But we won't have any experience until 6 months. Assuming like people are reporting back good things and we're like willing to take the dive.
Well, I was gonna say we could go the Linus Tech Tips route and just like rawr.
Yeah, it's hard to tell with him what's an ad and what's not, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like they basically had Windows 11 the day that it was announced or whatever. Like, actually before it was technically announced.
It was a leaked version though.
Right. So, but still, usually those are somewhat close to the real thing.
Yeah, I saw Gamer Nexus do some benchmarks on it, or was it Hardware Box? One of them. And game performance-wise, it's like the same. So I just don't think it's worth taking the plunge until other people have.
And no, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. But it is nice that they're realizing there's such a huge subsection of the market that are into streaming and play the games and stuff. Because before, when computers first launched, like gaming was such a small part of it. Like most of the time, people use their computers for business and all kinds of shit, and then it's like, oh, but it also plays games. Now it's like fucking computer plays games and then you also do business. It's like you fucking flip-flopped, And so it's good that they're trying to kind of incorporate it into Windows, just because it's, fuck, who doesn't use Windows really? Like even people that are like hardcore Apple fanboys and Mac fanboys or whatever, they'll still have to use Windows at some point because, you go into a library or something, they're not using fucking Macs, iMacs and all this kind of shit because that's just fucking expensive, So, they use Windows, and so it's just it's good that they're, considering that, I guess. But the high barrier to entry, what you were saying, is just that's the only thing that gives me pause. Like, shit, I have a 2700X, right? One of your hand-me-downs. I think that's what I'm running.
Yeah. So you'd be able to upgrade.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fuck everyone else.
Well, I think it's cool because it shows that they're taking PC gaming seriously, which they have been in my opinion, they have been showing that they're taking it seriously. They just haven't implemented it right and gotten their fucking software down. Like, it's fucking stupid that it runs better on Steam than their own fucking store. So it's the iOS interaction. It's not iOS, I'm sorry. It's the OS interaction with the game. That's the problem. So maybe this will ease that out and make their store worth, like, because I'd rather buy it on their store than in Steam, because Steam just launches Xbox.
Right. Right.
So like, what's the point in that? Like, I'd rather just launch Xbox and be done with it. But for some reason, having Steam as like the file manager prevents you from getting all the bullshit that the Windows Store gives you. So if they could work that out, they'd have actually a really good thing because they'd have, you know, the Windows Store is connected to Xbox Live, and Xbox Live is really good. So I'm hoping they can work it out. I don't have any reason to believe they could, but here's the hoping.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's. I hope they're able to get their shit straight. But as you were talking about the whole Windows thing, it actually got me thinking, and because Dreamcast was still on my mind because I love it. How there was a version of Windows for the Dreamcast. You know what I mean? And it's like if they can do that, like you're talking about making a version of like Windows for Xbox or updating Xbox to Windows, I guess, or whatever.
No, Xbox One is on Windows.
Oh well, there you go.
So this makes sense to me in a sense where they're killing two birds with one stone, which is why I think that it actually could be good, because they have to make it good if they're going to throw it on their Xbox.
Well, and so do you think possibly they're gonna end up kind of like cannibalizing their own base because they're wanting to sell consoles because actually I don't know if they're wanting to sell consoles anymore because they have to put out consoles, they want to compete because whole Sony and blah blah blah.
Because there's a console market, there's a portion of the market that's never going to be on PC because they like the whole plug it in your TV and be done with it.
Right. But obviously they're also pushing Xbox as a platform instead of just a console because of all the crossplay and play anywhere and all this stuff. And so these this built-in game streaming is looking more so like Xbox as a platform versus hey, it's just like this console.
No,
and
they've acknowledged that they're a platform now and they're not a console. And I agree with you to an extent, but I think it depends on what the type of gamer that is buying the console. Because if you're a Game Pass gamer, which nothing wrong with, there's a fucking ton of games on Game Pass, where you buy an Xbox and the only thing you pay for is Game Pass. So you only play games that are on Game Pass, which is a fuck ton to choose from. So, and there's more on Xbox than there is on PC. So that's not that bad. I would think that they would want you to be more on PC than on Xbox because Game Pass costs the same on either. Like it's $15 for Ultimate there, $50 for Ultimate here. But when you buy an Xbox, you're buying a subsidized platform. So they're paying, you buy it for $300, but it costs like, hypothetically, I don't know the exact amount, but it costs like $400 to make. So they're eating $100 for you to be on that platform. While if you're a Game Pass gamer on PC, my PC that costs, however, I bought on my own. But if you're a Xbox gamer that buys like the Call of Duties, that buys, things outside of the Game Pass, they probably want you to buy a console because they get a licensing fee from every single game that you buy. So that's how I would think their mindset would work.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I was just obviously thinking about it as we're discussing it and not really, doing too much of a deep dive. But yeah, I don't know, just thinking like how, if we had a choice, would we game on PC or Xbox, like whatever Xbox. But obviously our PCs are worth more and probably are better. So, why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Ultimately, I'd like to have one of the series or whatever just to say I have it. But, like I'm not going out of my way to get one. If anything, if I had to get one of the consoles now, it'd be a PS5. I don't know. I just would. Probably because I haven't really been a PlayStation gamer since like the 3. So it's been a while.
Yeah, I haven't had one since 2.
Yeah, so even longer for you.
But yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to purchase a console when I've spent so much on my PC, and like my PC will just shit on any console that's out right now.
Well, to me, and it's also thinking about it, that's why I'd want a PS5 is because now it's like I can play all the fucking games that are on Xbox on my computer or on my fucking phone. Like, why would I even really need an Xbox,
Yeah,
but
I don't think it's going to be long before PlayStation
that's the same thing.
Yeah, not the same thing as in cloud, but I don't know if this is something that's not on our list, so I'm going to bring it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
PlayStation just bought a developer that's known for PC ports, and that's what they do. That's their main bread and butter, PC ports. So,
I mean, that's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. A portent of things to come, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool, cool.
All right, so let's move on to the next one. Uh, this is the one that you want to talk about, but I did see Ubisoft shut down a fan-made version of GoldenEye within Far Cry 5.
Yeah, so basically, this one modder or whatever they want to call themselves,
I would just say
and
creator because they gave
creator,
you the
yeah,
tools in it. They didn't mod
right,
anything.
right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, this person basically uses the tools that were in Far Cry 5's like arcade mode or whatever the hell it's even called to create like a damn near perfect replica of GoldenEye within Far Cry 5. Like, it looks fucking amazing. I cannot. We might be able to link to it in the video description, but we can't show any of the video within this video because the whole reason why I got shut down is because of copyright claims, and Ubisoft's actually being kind of like hush hush about who is claiming copyright on it. I mean, you would think it's like Rare or even possibly Nintendo, but you know, they're not really saying who it is, and so they all they could say is like, yeah, we have to shut this down because we got copyright complaints or whatever. But it's crazy because it was this guy spent like 3 years working on it and it looked fucking amazing. And you know, it's just sad because it's like, you know, you devote so much time to making something and then it could just get shut down in an instant. Like, sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah, I read about this, and the first thing I thought of was the remake of the 360 GoldenEye that we talked about before the stream. So for you guys that don't know, within the last 2 months, someone actually leaked out the game for that. There was supposed to be a GoldenEye remake, the way there was a Perfect Dark remake on the 360, and they actually finished the game, but it was never released because Nintendo never came to an agreement on it. I think that's it right there. I think, you know, Nintendo protects their properties a lot, and I don't see Rare and Microsoft tackling that because, you know, Rare is now Microsoft. I don't see Microsoft going after them for that, because then you would see them going after a lot of shit in Minecraft. I don't see any of that happening. We know
Well, I mean,
Nintendo.
Microsoft owns Minecraft now too, so
Right, but like, you know, they could still shut down if there's like a Halo in Minecraft. They'll shut it down. They would shut it down or whatever. I'm not saying there is, but well, there might be one of the
the
custom
modded
servers. Yeah, the modded servers.
Mhm.
But my point being, like, Nintendo just sent, like, even with the last Nintendo Direct, they sent out an email saying like, "Hey, don't co-stream this." You know, some people didn't listen, but they really attempt. I don't give a shit either way. I'm like, right with you, but they really try to keep their properties under wrap and not really let them anyone use it. Like, think about how long it took for them to allow people to just make YouTube videos about their properties. Like, that's fucking stupid.
It is.
I think it's Nintendo. I think Nintendo got heard about it and fucking came after them. And Ubisoft probably doesn't want to burn any bridges with them because they have the Mario Rabbit games, and you know, they have a working relationship with Nintendo. And they're just like, all right, we'll shut it down. You know, no skin off their nose. It's a fucking game no one buys anymore, plays anymore. So they shut it.
Yeah, it's like not a for profit thing anyway. You know, it's like a thing that there's some people that buy Far Cry 5 can play within Far Cry 5. Or, well, they used to be able to if they downloaded it.
But now you can buy Far Cry 5 for like $8, or not, like, you know.
So I just had a thought. Like, do you remember when PT came out and then it was all this hype? Yeah, so PT was the horror game that they were basically teasing to be the new Silent Hill. I think it was on PS3, either PS3 or PS4. But anyway, it was called PT. And it was this horror game that was supposed to be really awesome, and it was essentially like a demo, like a 20-minute demo of what the new Silent Hill game was going to be. But I guess Kojima or whoever, Sony, whatever, somebody like backed out of the agreement, so they actually ended up taking the demo down, and that pissed a lot of people off because it was a really good demo. And so what ended up happening was people that still had the demo like on their console could sell their fucking console for like $400-$500 just because it had that fucking demo on it and people wanted to play it. So I wonder if we're gonna run into the same thing here with this Far Cry thing, where if somebody
So
has
hard
the
drives.
yeah, if somebody has the fucking Far Cry 5 GoldenEye like on their fucking hard drive or whatever, they're gonna be like, "Hey, I'm gonna sell this console because it's got the illegal fan made GoldenEye remake on it."
I
But
guess it was.
then
I don't know how the arcade works, but is it in the cloud or is it on the hard drive?
well, so that was what I was gonna say. The only thing I don't know is if it needs like an internet connection or
Yeah.
something. If you have to connect to like Ubisoft servers once you actually have it, then that could put a kibosh on it. But if you don't, like if it's in the game and then once you boot up the game, you can go in the arcade and play it, then who knows? We could end up seeing a situation like that. I'm not actually gonna make a note of that to follow up on that because that's interesting.
Actually, I'm 90% sure it was Nintendo who shut it down.
I would Yeah, I would say so too, but it's we can't be sure.
Yeah, that's why I'm 90%.
Right.
All right. Next topic is we had Kopide Kimmy, one of my favorite leakers, who's actually pretty damn accurate on almost anything he leaks, put out a leaked picture of what's going to be the CPU and the GPU inside the Switch Pro. I don't think I ever reported this here. I think me and Patrick talked about it on his podcast, or maybe just on one of his chats. The original leak of the Switch Pro was it was actually going to be on not Ampere, which is the current generation of GPUs, which is your 3000 series that's out right now, but the next generation, and it was actually going to come. The Switch would get it actually before graphics cards actually came out with this technology. So that was actually a pretty cool leak, and I'm like, wow, that's very impressive. Turns out that's not the case. It's actually going to be based on Ampere, current generation. So still so impressive because in terms of what Nintendo did with the last Switch, because the rumor is that Nintendo actually chose to use a previous generation just to save like $15 a unit. Wow. Like it's fucking dumb that they did that. But anywho, it leaked the core count. It looks like it's going to be weaker than a 3060, which is actually kind of disappointing to me. I thought it was going to be somewhat powerful, but that's kind of what's out there. It's called Black Knight. If you guys want to look up into it, or just follow Kopide Kimmy. He puts out some really good leaks if you're interested in that kind of leaks.
And it's a Knight with a K.
A Knight with a K, yes. So apparently Black Knight is the code name of the code name. It's not the actual code name. So I guess the dolphin to the whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucking dolphin, Jesus.
Yeah.
How awful would that have actually been?
Yeah, it became a dolphin.
You guys ready to play some?
Fucking they'd be sued by Echo.
Right. God damn it.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about that. It's out there if you guys want to learn more about it. I won't go too deep into it because I can if I want to.
No, yeah. Let's get into it first for at least a second. So when you were talking and you said that it's weaker than a 3060, so does that mean like where would you put it on a scale of graphics cards? So like 3060 is still superior than the 2000 series of graphics cards, correct?
Well, the 3060 actually is pretty much on par with a 2060 Super.
Okay.
In terms of, so it would be around a 2060 Super, like I guess less than 2060 Super. But the thing that would be cool about it is that it has DLSS. And for you guys who don't know, is DLSS is kind of, it renders the game at a lower resolution and then uses AI to guess how it's going to look like. So it raises your frames per second.
Do you know what it stands for, by the way?
Deep learning super sampling.
Gotcha. I knew what it was. I just wanted to make sure that you explained it. Okay.
So the thing about DLSS is it's very dependent on the developer, and the developer has to put in the work to make it work. Some games have all right implementations of it where you can tell it's on, but the frame rate is higher. Some games like Death Stranding, it actually looks better with DLSS on. So it's really dependent on how much work the developer puts into it. Why I'm kind of excited about it is because a lot of third-party games are going to put work into it because they want it to run well on the Switch, which would help PC because it's the same technology behind it. Maybe it's a selfish reason, but that's really cool.
Yeah.
So I think that's the ace in the hole that Nintendo has. While it's going to be weaker than what a 3060 would be, like when you're comparing native resolutions, well, it would still be weaker even in DLSS, but you're not going to compare native because they're going to be taking advantage of this AI. So maybe it will be, actually, now that I'm talking it through, it might not be as bad as I'm thinking it's going to be, but it could have been better.
Right. Like, so you're disappointed in the fact that it's not better, but it's also not awful.
Right, but we don't know because it depends on how much the developers actually develop the software to work with this.
So, I mean, I would say that third parties would probably put more work into it than Nintendo themselves, just based on the fact of what you're talking about, how they chose to take not necessarily shortcuts, but cost saving initiatives, I guess, with the Switch. So, if anything, third parties might be more likely to like, spend the time doing it because they're like, well, it's gonna be on Switch Pro, and if it has DLSS, it'll make it look even better. So,
Yeah, and then the fact that that work actually translates over to PC because it's going to be using Ampere technology. So, we have Ampere in our computers. It just switches over.
exactly, like
So,
no, not a lot of work porting.
exactly.
Pretty straightforward, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys are interested, Kopai Kimmy, he's a good follow.
I'll try and throw something on screen.
So another one is EVGA sent out emails saying that they're switching over their 3080s to the light hash rate versions. I've been seeing a lot of reports on eBay talking and like J2 Sense talking about how in China they're actually selling off their graphics cards for less than MSRP, which wasn't the case beforehand. I remember seeing a 3080 going on eBay brand new for like 2,200 and a used one for 2,000. I thought of selling mine for a while. Like I'm just waiting till the shortage was over. So it looks like things are starting to get back to normal. Probably the lower end cards are going to get back to normal first because there's a report that NVIDIA is going to start producing a lot of 3060s, mainly for the Chinese market, for internet cafes. But most people think that is going to affect all markets, not just the Chinese market. And it would make sense that it would. So yeah, GPUs are getting back to normal. Should be a few months if you're looking for a higher end one. But right now, like Micro Center, I'm lucky enough to live in a city with Micro Center. I've been reading reports on the Micro Center Discord, which I'm in, saying that people show up like a little late, like after opening, and still are able to get 3080 Ti's on some days. Wow. 3080 Ti's are like an awful deal, so I would not recommend buying one, but that's probably why you can go and just buy one. But the fact that you can go buy one at a store now, and not saying like every day, but on like you don't have to show up at 2 a.m,
Camp out for days at a time.
Yeah, it's showing that like things are starting to get back to normal, and the mining craze is gone now. People are starting to sell off their stuff. The new GPUs are light hash rate, so you can't even mine on them to begin with. We can't mine blockchain. There's some things you can mine, not everything though. And things are gonna be fine in a while if you're looking to get a card.
And so what is for people that don't know about the EVGA thing, like also they are sending out those emails about how if you sign up to be notified when they're in stock, they're kind of like replacing the queue or resetting the queue or something, right?
No, so they're not resetting the queue, they're moving you over. So for you guys who don't know, EVGA, which is one of NVIDIA's exclusive third-party partners, they had the way they addressed the shortage was you asked to get notified, like you use their auto notify system, but instead of just auto notifying you like the normal system would, they modified it to put everyone in a line. So as graphics cards came in stock, they would send you an email and say, hey, we got this in stock, you have 12 hours to buy it, which is actually how I got this card right here, which I should be getting my cables on Tuesday, but can't see it. Yeah.
3080 Ti?
Yeah, no, just 3080. 3080
okay.
hybrid.
Oh, okay.
I'm lucky on that one. But pretty much they just sent you an email saying you have 12 hours to buy it, and then you buy it and it's yours. But That's Q is still like for the 3080s. For the non-hybrids, that's Q still in September.
Damn.
Like, yeah, when they first came out, like it's fucking crazy how behind on demand everything is.
I was just thinking, actually, I got an email from the EVGA thing still about the step up program for the 2060.
Oh,
So,
you
like,
just got it?
well, so
When
no,
was
no,
that?
no, no, no. So it's still not stepped up or whatever. It's just saying, hey,
It's a light hash right now?
right. I got put in the queue or whatever the hell is you're talking about,
Yeah.
redoing it or whatever. I forgot about that till just now. You started talking about it. I'm like, oh yeah, I got an email from UVGA about the step up too, even though I don't even fucking have that card anymore. But it's funny because I signed up to do that in what, like January, February?
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of what card you got. Oh, it was the
I had the 2060
the 2060 from Best Buy.
KO Ultra,
Yeah.
I believe is what it was. And yeah, I signed up for the step up program, and here it is, fucking July, and no, I mean technically I'm still not stepped up. Like,
Yeah.
that's fucking crazy to me. Like, god damn, dude. But anyway, EVGA is great though. I will say that.
Ooh, speaking of EVGA,
Go ahead.
they just teased out. So this is a PC thing that most people won't know, but EVGA makes only Intel motherboards and stuff. So if you wanted to, so you can only have an Intel platform. They actually just teased out some AMD stuff, so they're gonna start doing AMD stuff again. So my hope of maybe my next build being a complete AVG build is actually like, I can actually make it happen.
Is it a complete EVG build or a complete
EVGA?
Oh.
Because
Okay.
now they have an AMD motherboard, so I can do the EVGA NVIDIA graphics card and, well, maybe not RAM and shit, but oh well, close.
Yeah, like, do they make cases? What about
Yeah, they do.
coolers?
They
Really?
make cases and coolers.
Oh wow, that I didn't know. Okay, cool. That would be pretty dope.
Okay, so we already addressed cloud.
Yeah.
Control. So they're talking about not only making another Control single player game, but making a Control multiplayer spinoff where it's kind of like player versus the environment.
Four player cooperative. That seems right down our alley, even if we're not able to get the 4 players.
I don't know. Like they said, 4 player versus the environment, so that kind of made me think of a horde mode. If it's granted, we're going off no details, so it's all speculation. But playing the game, I don't see how that would be fun in a horde mode. I'm hoping it's not a horde mode. But
I mean, I actually have not played much of it. Like, I played the demo on the Switch, but I didn't even get out of like the starting area where you're like walking around like the police station or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't even get out of there because I think I was actually streaming the demo.
Yeah, because you play Control and streaming on the Switch.
Right. So I think I was streaming it and it like froze or something. So I was like, I'll worry about it later. But I got it for free on the Epic Store, so I have it now. But I have not played much of it. So, but I've seen people stream it and stuff. It seems like it'd be fun, but again, I don't know enough about it to where it would how to even speculate on what the co-op would be other than horde mode. Anyway, but 4 player co-op, it's that's just our deal. Like co-op, So
I'm excited that they're doing a co-op game of it. If it's not horde mode, I don't want a horde mode game. I want a story game, because like the story is trippy as fuck, and I like it. So I don't, and that's what draws you into it. Like the gameplay itself is fun. I'm not gonna say it's not like bad gameplay, but the story is what like makes it cool. So to abandon that and just make a horde mode, which again, 100% speculation, would be very disappointing. Well, we'll see what happens.
I'm trying to think of how they could tie in like some sort of 4-player story mode, but yeah, it'd be a little hard.
I was thinking that too. Like, just when I saw it announced, like I think 2 players would be good, because you can kind of do like the 2-player trippy thing. And I was thinking more like how we play Dead Space. That's exactly what I thought of.
Hell yeah.
Which is funny because a lot of Dead Space people would hate that we said that, because Dead Space 3 is considered the shit
low
Dead
point
Space.
of the franchise.
Yeah, but I thought it was cool.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Do we need to go over that? Have we talked about that before? We probably have.
Yeah, we've talked about it before.
Yeah, that's all right. But anyway,
it's not on our list Did you see that there's a leak of them
Oh,
potentially reviving the series?
right. Yeah.
A Resident Evil type remake
I
is what I've read.
mean, honestly, the first Dead Space I probably played 4 hours, maybe. I didn't beat the game. I didn't play it like all the way through. It was fun. The second one I didn't play too much of. The third one was the one that we played together and I played all the
Yeah,
way through. And you said like that's the low point of it. I
because
can
it was
see a
more action
reboot.
based. What people were saying.
Right, it wasn't
The
as
other before,
scary.
yeah, it wasn't scary, but it was fun.
It,
Like I enjoyed it.
it's a little bit harder to create like horror when you can have like, okay, we're gonna have two players and we're gonna watch each other's back, you know, because it's like then if you're supposed to shit's supposed to pop out behind you, then obviously someone's gonna see it, and you know it's not as you can build tension, you can create scares and spooks and stuff, but it's easier if it's single player than if there's multiple players, you know.
I agree with you.
And
It's easier. I'm not going to say it's hard though. I think if you design your game around it correctly, you can do it. Because Dead Space kind of seemed very action, like the one we played was very action based, and it probably went through the same kind of modernization, quote unquote, that Resident Evil did. Think about like from 1 through 3 jumping to 4. So I think you could play a game like 1 through 3 or like Resident Evil 1, 2, or 3 in a multiplayer setting, but I don't think that's what they went for, personally.
yeah, I don't know. I think the reboot would be interesting, and I'd
And I
probably
want
look into it.
I wonder what they mean by a Resident Evil style reboot, like the way I guess Resident Evil reworked all its mechanics.
If I had to guess, I'd say more of like how people started shitting on 6 because it was becoming too like over the top actiony, and how 7 went back to more of like the horror, kind of
But
whatever roots of it.
I think it's when you say a Resident Evil style reboot, I think it's fair. I would look directly at the reboots that
Are
are
you talking about
happening
like
right now.
you're talking about 1, 2, and 3 that they've come out
Yeah,
with or whatever? Yeah, I mean that's possible too. That's more of like higher res graphics, a few mechanic tweaks,
but
but like
wasn't 2
overall,
like over the shoulder?
I'm trying to think.
Like the new 2, the old 2 wasn't. 'Cause I played the
Yeah,
old 2, but I think
right.
the new 2 is over the shoulder.
I'm trying to think because I played through the one shot demo, but yeah, that was like they give you 30 minutes. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember if it was over the shoulder or not, but um, yeah, if they do it that way, like exactly how you're talking about, then I would be less excited than if they were essentially taking the old, franchise existing IP and putting like, a new twist on it, a new spin on it, like higher res graphics, amazing shit versus kind of like almost the exact same game with just a new coat of paint, you know?
yeah. So you're talking more of a modernization that follows the same story in a sense.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe like a rework to support different things today versus things they were not able to do when the first game was released. You know what I mean?
I
Due
have
to,
to
due to
say,
technical limitations or what have you.
I like what's happening with current reboots, even though I haven't played any of them. I like the idea of like Final Fantasy VII being like a different story and kind of being like a divergent. Like that's kind of cool in my opinion because it while it like brings back characters everyone likes and has a similar story, it's not following it directly, and it gives old fans something new to experience. And that was one of my favorite things about the Conquer Bad Fur Day remake, the bigger, badder, uncut, which is actually free on Gold this month.
Nice.
Like the fact that like it was not 1-to-1, and there was times that you thought shit would happen, and shit didn't happen, and they would actually specifically say, "Oh yeah, you thought this was gonna happen." Like that was cool as fuck, like for an old fan. So I like what they're doing, how they're modernizing older games and giving it like some differences so that fans can appreciate, like fans of the old stuff can appreciate.
Okay, so before we lose topic, I mean, we can stay on this, but I just came to my brain because I know you're such a fan. where the hell is the Prince of Persia remake or reboot or revisualization?
Dude, that
or
shit got
whatever?
delayed because it fucking looked like shit. Like that shit did not look like a fucking PS4 game. It looked like a PS3 game, and it's like at the end of life of the PS4. I'm glad it got delayed. Like,
Okay, yeah.
because it looked like shit. And to be honest, I love Prince of Persia, Sands of Time specifically. Although Sands of Time is one of the most limiting games and kind of like very, how do I?
Linear.
It's linear. It's kind of kooky. Like it kind of has like a goofy atmosphere as opposed to the next year. The next year kind of the next two get darker and get more gritty. It kind of feels like honest like a Disney
I was thinking Aladdin as you were describing it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like very, it's not as kooky as Disney, but yeah, it's like kind of upbeat, and even though everyone's dying to the sands, like it's still, very happy while it gets very dark in the next ones. But I still think it's the best one out of them all, just because I guess maybe it's because the first one, the second one was kind of shitty or iffy, but I love it. I fucking love it.
Yeah, like
I love the kookiness.
If we wanted to go down that road, I mean, shit, let's look at Assassin's Creed. The first probably 3 or 4 were actually pretty good, and then it's just been kind of downhill. And I guess it's sort of coming back with the last couple, but yeah, there was a midpoint in there where it was like pretty shaky.
Well, to be fair, like 2 kind of, it wanted to go in a different direction, but it kind of did it in a weird way where it felt like he was whiny all the time. And then 3 is when he got like really hardened and badass, and it was a transition, but it was just kind of a weird transition. I don't know. Maybe like 3 was good.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe that was their off studio, like how Activision has like their good Call of Duty studio and then their off year Call of Duty.
Yeah, like every other year is like the Call of Duty ones that all the fans like. Yeah.
Right.
Damn, I don't know. Yeah, Prince. I'm hoping it comes out to be good. I like that game a lot, and I would rebuy. I'm not going to spend $40 on it though. I will say that right now. Like I'm not going to spend $40 on a fucking 20-year-old game. 20.
They've already played through and beaten and enjoyed it.
It's not a fast. I mean, it's not a long game.
Okay.
So like,
gotcha.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
But speaking of the whole modernization reboots thing, I know we're still going off tangent here, but my brain is working. Yeah. The Turtles game that's supposed to be coming out. What is it called? Shredder's Revenge?
Yeah.
You've seen it, right?
Revenge? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I'm fucking hyped for that. It looks cool. It looks like Turtles in Time, and we recently played through Law Rescue Palooza or whatever, and you guys can watch that there. But yeah,
Turtles have been interesting to me, like because I kind of feel like it's I'm recognizing like the get off my lawn type shit in myself. But like, because I fell in love with the Turtles in the 90s when all the Turtles were the same turtle, except they just had different colored bandanas or whatever. Are they bandanas? Like, what are they called? Eye covers? Like, what would they call them?
I think it's like a bandana. It just has eye holes.
Yeah. Like, they all have the same personality. You can just tell them by what weapon they're using. And as they like, then there was the 2000 Turtles from Fox where they like were different shades of green and they had like different personalities, which I guess that's cool having different like making them a little bit more deep,
individualized.
Yeah. Now the Turtles are actually like physically different. I don't know if you've seen that.
I think I have like different like sizes and shapes.
Yeah, like Ralph's like buff and shit, and I guess like I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that because I don't want that to happen, but at the same time, it's like I guess they're growing the characters and. It's not video game related, but I've been mixed about the evolution of the Turtles.
Well, I mean, we have to be careful what we wish for, because I mean, look what happened to fucking Battletoads. We're like, oh shit, a new Battletoads game, and it's like, yeah,
that shit was just fucking awful, though. They didn't stay true to the Battletoads at all.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there was a few cool things about the game. Like the whole bringing out the arcade game and playing it was pretty fucking cool.
Oh, as an attack? Yeah. Yeah, but
and then they could have just expounded on the combat, because I mean the combat was like the core focus. The fact there was like so many goddamn mini games and like random sections that seemed like, especially when you weren't playing as the Battletoads, what the fuck, man?
I just think with the Battletoads, and they admitted it in their interview, like when they're trying to sell the game. saying like we took it and we made it our own. Well, that's not what we fucking wanted. When you said a new Battletoads game is coming out, we thought we were getting a new Battletoads game, not some bullshit that you just put together that had Battletoads as a character. And I think we discussed this in our review of it that we did a long time ago. Is like you could have replaced the Battletoads with any fucking characters that you made up, and there'd be no difference because it didn't stay true to the characters.
I can see that, yeah. I'm picturing it in my head, the dialogue and everything, and like, yeah, it could just be like, I mean, you could put in the fucking Space Jam characters. Bam, there's your Space Jam game tie-in. Like,
I wonder if no, it's not Rare making Space Jam. But yeah, like that's what I hated about the Battletoads is that like it wasn't a Battletoads game. It probably would have been a good game on its own, but when you're bringing in an expectation and you fail to live up to those expectations, even if it's a good game, you're already tainting like whatever your project is. Kind of like, hey, we can talk about Halo 4. You know, I wanted Halo. I didn't want Caught in Space.
Right. Which they eventually went to with Advanced Warfare or whatever. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe COD saw it as a challenge.
It's like, you what, bro? You what? Right.
But Control, that's good. I hope it's good.
Right, getting back to Control, tying it all back in together.
Yeah. Okay, so the next topic, the Justice Department is actually investigating the Overwatch League. So apparently the Overwatch League has a rule that de-incentivizes, yes, that word, teams from overpaying players. So the Justice Department is looking to see if that breaks any rules, and they're investigating Activision Blizzard. I gotta say, man, this isn't surprising considering that Activision Blizzard, fucking Bobby Kotick and his bitch ass.
You know what's funny? They just voted to like give him a raise. You saw that shit?
I thought they voted to not give him a raise because they think he's overpaid.
Or just keep paying him money or whatever. They basically aren't taking away his money. Is the basically gist that I got out of it. They could have taken away his money, and they're not. So.
Oh, I thought. I don't know about that. I could have sworn they were going after his money. They're actually. I thought the investors were pissed off saying that he makes too much.
He does make too fucking much.
I know he does. I know he does.
What does this guy even do? Like, I mean, aside from like knowing him as the head of the organization, like, what does he do? Does he ever at any fucking conventions? Like, do you ever see him anywhere?
Other than firing people, I don't know.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, I don't know.
Fun fact: I think one of Raw's friends told me this. Apparently, his dating life sucks because whenever he tries to date someone and they Google him, a bunch of pictures of him as a devil.
As the devil?
Come on.
That's fucking great, dude. That is fucking great. That's so great. Holy shit, man. Yes. I don't want to put any on screen just in case we get sued or something, but no, you can Google Bobby Kotick's whatever devil and you'll see it. You probably don't even need to put the devil. Just Google his name. Just Google his fucking name. That shit'll pop up. Yes. God damn it. And the whole reasoning behind it, if for some reason you're living under a rock and you don't know who the fuck we're talking about or why the fuck we're talking about this guy, he's like a huge fucking asshole who lays people's off in order to like keep his own money and profits high or whatever. And he's just like a greedy piece of shit. And that's why he has these pictures of him as the devil floating around on the internet, because people don't take kindly to that sort of thing. So
he's an asshole. All right, well, yeah, they're getting investigated for some shady shit, and
that's like just announced, right? Like as in the past couple of days.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, like I think yesterday.
So I mean, there's really not much probably going to be coming from that soon. Usually federal investigations feel like they take fucking forever. So, I mean, we'll follow this and we'll definitely let you guys know when/if there are updates. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll hear about it on YouTube and stuff because I do pay attention to some Overwatch news.
Yeah.
And I actually ran into this not on YouTube, just like Google recommended it to me.
Wow. And after you posted it, I was like, that's interesting. And I looked on Twitter and it popped up within 5 minutes. So,
Yeah.
it'll make its way around. It's just how whoever sees it first or whatever. But yeah, I think it's an interesting topic in the sense that it obviously correlates to like professional sports, because I mean that's kind of what esports are, like these people that get paid to play video games, they're professional gamers. But it's the whole talk of salary caps. The first thing that came to my mind is fucking the New York Yankees and those fucking assholes.
Yeah,
they
only
have
win
so much.
because
They have so much money they can fucking buy all the best players, and that's why they win. And so it's kind of like that's what this whole Overwatch thing is. They're trying to prevent that basically from teams from overspending on players, so in order to make it competitive. Because if one Overwatch team got 5 to 6, well, I don't know how many like reserve players they have. Let's just say
Sure,
5 to 7 or 8 or whatever. Let's just say 8. Good, even 8. Let's say an Overwatch team gets 8 of the best fucking players. I mean, it's gonna be close, like it's not gonna be close. It's gonna be less competitive,
yeah.
It's like I said, it's just interesting to see the correlations, because it's not something that I ever really thought about. I mean, I heard gamers getting paid to play video games, play Overwatch. It's cool, but it's like I didn't think like, yeah, fucking federal investigation due to salary caps and shit. Like that's crazy to me.
I don't know the whole detail of it, but to compare it to the Yankees, that's actually a good point. Like with salary caps, because the basketball salary caps, baseball doesn't, but football does as well. But there's a big disparity in income there, because you're playing basketball, and like a veteran minimum in basketball is still like $1 million. So it's still like money that we're never gonna make in our life, well, pro Overwatch players or pro esport players, I don't know about all esports, but Overwatch players only make like 50,000. Like they don't really make a lot, and that's a decent wage for playing games, but like they work, I guess they play like all the fucking time, like 12-hour days, and then once they are out of the profession, they don't really have skills to fall back on. So the ones that aren't the ones that aren't personalities that can't default to streaming are kind of just fucked.
Then that was going to be the first thing I said whenever you're like, they don't have skills to fall back on. I was going to be like, streaming. But yeah, that's you're right. Like the ones that literally just are kind of more laser focused, they'll still get people that watch, because I mean that's like a whole category on Twitch. People that, let's say, aren't very entertaining, but they're fucking amazing at the game. People will watch it just because they're so fucking good. So I mean, it's not like, I don't see it as like a boo-hoo story. Like if somebody got fired from the Overwatch League, I'm pretty sure they could keep their fame and transition it into streaming without like fucking batting an eyelash.
But that's the thing, you got to be one of the famous ones.
But I mean, if you're in the Overwatch League and Overwatch is such a huge game, I'm pretty sure that it would, even if you're a bench player who comes in one fucking time, you can put that shit on your resume. Like, yo, I was in the Overwatch League. My name's so and so. Like,
yeah, but for what
go.
job? Like, if you're talking streaming, you don't.
No. But yeah, I'm not talking about an actual career. I'm talking about like basically on your online, like on your social and shit. Like, hey, this is the Twitch profile of XQC. I was in the Overwatch League and blah. I mean, that's a bad example because he's
massive.
Right. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, somebody like that just puts that shit there. People were like, Overwatch League, oh hey, let's check out this guy's stream.
Well, and then a lot of or not a lot, I don't know, I want to say a lot, but there's been quite a bit of players from the Overwatch League that actually quit the league because it's just too like stressful, and they don't make the money, and they'd rather just stream. It's less stressful and they make more money.
That's what I was gonna say. They can actually make more money streaming. So I mean, it's, I don't know. It's again, it's an interesting topic, like I said, because of the whole like Major League Baseball, NBA, etc. Like the quote unquote real sports, from our, parents' time and whatnot, when gaming wasn't even a blink in anyone's eye. So it's interesting to see where this investigation is going to end up, and if it's going to be where the government has to like start stepping in and saying, hey, you can pay these people, but you have to follow all these rules and blah 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 blah, and just a bunch of red tape. So it's, I don't know, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know the full details of it, but I guess we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Next topic. This is a pretty good one. This is actually pretty damn recent. What happened today as of this
As of the
recording.
recording, yeah.
So, some Titanfall fans got tired of Respawn shit. They're like, fuck you, Respawn, for ignoring us. So we're going to attack your baby. Some Titanfall players are so pissed at the hacking in Titanfall that they hacked Apex Legends to send a message. So Apex Legends is unplayable. The screens read "Save Titanfall" when you log in, and a bunch of people on Twitter are fucking pissed off.
I mean, I actually haven't checked in with my girlfriend since we started this, so she could be trying to play Apex because she's a huge Apex Legends fan. She's actually like high ranked, what the highest ranked, whatever. Not like the. Sorry, not, I gotta make sure I get this correctly. Get this correct. Highest level, like I think it's like level 500 or something. Yeah, she's like that. Like she's played the game so fucking much that she's that high level. She actually gets wins fairly regularly. Or she plays on Xbox just as a whatever. But anyway, so she plays the game a lot.
A disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. So let's just say she plays the game a shit ton, and so I would be curious to see if she could actually play. I kind of want to just walk out and check, but I'll wait. I'll give an update in the next episode. But yeah, it'd be interesting because I said I was going to come in here and do this. She's like, okay, I'll play Apex. So I wonder if she's just not playing Apex right now. Yeah, and the thing that you also didn't mention when you brought it up was that it's Titanfall 1 players. And that was fucking astounding to me because if you had asked me like, hey, is Titanfall 1 still a thing like an hour ago before we started talking about this, I'd have been like, nah, nobody plays Titanfall 1. Are you fucking kidding me? That game's so old. Shit, that came out in like 2013, 2014, like long time ago. I remember I actually was in the fucking beta for that. And I got the whole like kill somebody by dropping a Titan on them like the first day that I got it, like within the first like 3 or 4 matches. Which was actually really fun. This is not a knock against Titanfall because it actually was kind of a fun game. We actually played it for a bit there.
Yeah.
But if you said it was Titanfall 1, like if you had said it was Titanfall 2 that did this, like Titanfall 2 players hacked Apex, I would have been like, yeah, because Titanfall 2 has sort of seen a bit of a resurgence because the newest season in Apex Legends, the newest legend was like the daughter of somebody from Titanfall or something, and she has like her abilities allow her to kind of fly around like a fucking Titan, and so they're tying in some of the lore from Titanfall to Apex Legends, and so they're trying to world build, I guess. And so if you said it was Titanfall 2 players, I'd been like, yeah, cool, that seems relatively reasonable. But Titanfall 1 players, like what? I don't know. It's still just kind of mind-boggling.
No, I agree with you that when I read that too, I thought it was Titanfall 2. I didn't even know Titanfall 1 was still
playable.
Yeah, going on. But I remember I'm trying to figure out how to even get to the EA pass on this thing, which is just more testament to how shit Xbox software is that I can't figure out how to access some of the games. I remember seeing it on there because I was able to get to it like once. Maybe it was a notification saying like EA Pass is now live, and it just took me there.
I remember seeing it also on Games Pass. On like the home screen.
I'm looking at the EA Play.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm looking at the Xcloud thing on my phone just to see if it would be there too. But
so I see Titanfall 2 Ultimate Edition, and then Titanfall Deluxe Edition is here as well. So if you had their EA or EA Play, yeah, like they're still promoting it. It's still there. 2014. Holy shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like I knew it was 2013, 2014. I was still in North Carolina. That game came out.
So, I know it's old, but they're still promoting it. They really are. Like, the game is still part of their EA Play Pass. And you know what game isn't? Anthem.
Holy shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, so to say that it's not being supported or not being advertised, it's not true. Like, they're still... I bet you can go to Origin and still buy a copy. I do think if you're selling it still, Oh, the Anthem is here. I didn't see it last time. My bad.
That's all good.
I think you do have some sort of obligation to support it, and if you want to add some sort of like DLC to monetize it a little bit, then go for it. But I am kind of in agreement with them that they should be preventing hackers. And from my understanding, EA actually has like a really bad habit of doing that. Like if you go to any battlefield that's not the current battlefield, apparently it's like just hacker central. I haven't played any Battlefield in a while, so I can't say from personal experience, but that's kind of shitty if that's true.
I mean, it is shitty, but I could see it being something that they do, considering that it probably takes
because they're shit, yeah.
Well, I was gonna say because it takes time and resources to update like anti-cheat for a game that you're not really supporting anymore. Like because I would assume that what's happening is they stop supporting the game, and which means they stop giving updates to the anti-cheat. The hackers figure out how to bypass the anti-cheat, which is how they get in the game, how they're able to do what the fuck they do. And then people just get frustrated. They're like, I don't want to fucking play against hackers. Like, who the fuck would, Yeah. Other hackers, maybe. Like, who can headshot who from behind the highest mountain? Like...
Who can 360, yeah.
Yeah, 360 no-scope with fucking,
auto aim on.
Exactly. But I don't know. I'm not saying I disagree with their cause. It's just... I don't know. I mean, because... I just feel bad because there's people that aren't involved. You know what I mean? Like people that have nothing to do with Apex Legends that just want to play the fucking game can't play it because these people are trying to get their message across. And again, I'm not saying I disagree with the message. I'm just feel like the way they went about it. I know it's obviously the most effective. I mean, because shit, we're fucking talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're getting a shitload of press online. Fucking Twitter's talking about it. Whatever, So I mean, it's definitely getting them attention, but I just feel like do it, get your message out there, and then like okay, back off and let people play the fucking game already. Like I don't know. That's my take on it, I guess.
I think it's something that we didn't bring up is the way that they were able to hack it so easily is that it's using the same engine as Titanfall, so the same kind of backdoor shit works, which is kind of funny. I get what they're doing. I understand it. I'm not going to endorse hacking someone else, but I'm not going to knock it either. Like, it's working. Like, they got their message across. I understand some people can't play Apex Legends, but I guess...
See, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where there's a difference for me, is that it's like, I see them getting their point across, yes, but like, okay, you have everyone's fucking attention now. Like, you can pull this shit back. Like, if you're basically hijacking a game for ransom to get attention, like, I don't know. I was like, I wish there was a different game you could pick, I guess would be the explanation.
But no, it makes sense to pick this one.
No, I know, but I'm saying, like, now that you've done it, pull it back and, like, just let people fucking play it.
Well, I don't think they're going to unhack it, quote unquote. I think Respawn needs to...
Yeah, they're waiting for them to fix it, essentially, or whatever, but I don't know. Let people play the damn game. It's whatever.
Because, if they did it to Anthem, the 12 people would be sad, but...
No, I mean, shit, if they did it to Anthem, it would make no impact. Like, we would not even be talking about it. Like, like, hey, somebody packed Anthem. Like, who the fuck cares? Like, BioWare doesn't even give a shit about that game, so why the fuck could we?
Yeah,
but so... we probably should go through and play that shit before it's, like, completely non-server.
Not even, not even servers for it. Yeah, I don't mind playing through it once.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah, we should probably.
And now it's in fucking Game Pass, so it's free.
Trying to get our money back on fucking Newegg. Yeah, we bought this and now it's not supported. Give me my $10 back. Hey, that shit worked with Oculus.
I didn't even know the second Mirror Edge came out.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that either.
I want to play that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like, I get it. It's fireworks now. I think it's a tricky thing because like, what can you do? And I guess that's what you can do. I guess it's,
Just shut up and take it unless you fix it, you know?
yeah. All right. So our last topic is something Matt wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so Vampire the Masquerade Bloodhunt is in closed alpha right now, and I had signed up to be a part of it. It was actually one of the games they announced at E3, which is how I first heard about it. It's essentially a battle royale that takes place in the world of Vampire the Masquerade. So you have one map, I think it's Prague, at night, and you, instead of like dropping out of a bus or any of that kind of parachuting down, whatever, you basically choose a spawn point on the map and you just spawn on the ground. When you pick a point on the map, it shows you like a small radar to, so it basically tells you like if there's people near you, and you can move your point around up until like literally the last second. So if you put a point, you're pretty convinced you want to spawn there, and then right as it's going to change, you see like 6 or 7 dots spawn around you and be like, fuck, I didn't get the hell out of there. You move your dot somewhere else. But basically you control a vampire. You have different archetypes that you can choose from. The one I liked playing was the Prowler, who when you crouched after like a few seconds, you turn invisible, kind of like active camo and Halo. And then also had the trapping ability where you could like throw out essentially a gas bomb, and when somebody walks into it, it sets it off. But yeah, you go around, you find guns. They call them entities on the map, basically like human military force, and they basically shoot you on sight. Like they're like, you're a fucking creature of the night, I'm just gonna shoot you. So it's not really smart to engage them. There are random humans scattered across the map that you can feed on to get, not only get your health back, but also gain more power. It's actually pretty fun. I came in second one time. I was a little disappointed I didn't get the win, but yeah, it's interesting. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up doing a video, if not 2 videos on it. So keep your eyes out on the lookout for those. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I don't know. Like I said, I've mentioned it before. I've played Apex and some of these other battle royales, but this one was a little bit different. And I guess because it's so new, it was kind of refreshing to be different. And I don't know if it's something that's going to translate over to the final game, but I actually accidentally jumped into the water and I died, which I mean it's fine. But they played the Wilhelm scream, and not only did they play the Wilhelm scream, but I got eaten by a fucking shark. And the game is developed by, I think they're called Shark Mob. So I thought that was a nice little touch, that you get eaten by sharks if you get in the water and it plays the Wilhelm scream. So it's kind of fun. Yeah, like I said, we'll have some coverage on that, and you guys can check that out.
Okay, so that's all we really have for today. Unless you have anything to add.
No, I mean, we're going probably about an hour and a half, so it's pretty close.
Oh, so I reached out to one of our buddies while you were talking, and they're playing Apex right now. So I asked, "Are you playing Apex?" And he said, hell yeah." So I'm guessing servers are back up. Yeah.
Yeah. I assume you're talking about good old Kern Wallace.
I am, yes.
Okay, gotcha. No worries. Yeah, I guess that's probably it for this episode then.
Yep, I've been Daniel.
And I've been Matthew.
And we'll catch you later.
All right, have a good one. Peace.
Peace.